Generations of Americans will come into a new way of living, new way of being, a new reality. Because, for as long as I have lived, and I've been in America for a long time myself, and I've traveled there and so on and so forth, every year it gets better, and there's an increase in JCPenney sales, and the investors, the JCPenney's, can look for more profits and so on and so forth. And there's a new style that comes out every year, and you almost feel like you have to have it. And, I got a BlackBerry this year, and 2 years from now I need another kind of BlackBerry, another kind of... So it would be an entirely different way of life. I mean, if I buy something now, I probably wouldn't change it. Like, say, for instance, a car for 10 years. Well, the automotive companies will almost kind of be a different place, because they expect you to change your cars every 3 years or every 5 years, not every 10 years. Isn't that what you're basically suggesting?
Yeah, I think that's in line with what I'm saying. I mean, just to give you an idea, if you go into not now, but like a few years ago, if you just go into the malls and just look at people, I mean, you have teenagers that, what do they do for fun in America? Like in other countries,
Shop. They
play soccer and thing. In America, yeah, they go to the store and they spend money. Like, that's the activity, was just to go buy stuff that they don't even want. So I think that mentality needs to change to make the economy more sustainable, and that the government right now, it's trying to prevent that. It wants to keep things the way they were.
I hear you. Well, Doc, it's a pleasure, and I do really want to say thank you very much for being a part of our program this afternoon, and it's very enlightening, some of that which you have shared. I'm sure there's a lot of people out there who don't agree with you, and I know you've had to fight. I don't know if you're interested in fighting, but you have had to fight to kind of get your point of view to be accepted. Is it being more widely accepted now than, say, maybe 10 years ago?
Well, thanks for having me, and I'm glad to be here. And you're right. It is. People are taking my point of view a lot more seriously now, whereas I was dismissed, as a nut a few years ago. Now people are realizing that the conventional mainstream analysts who didn't see this coming and who said, everything's fine, those people now have lost a lot of credibility, and so people are turning to some like me and others who used to be on the fringes, but now people are looking for them because they know the mainstream people don't know what they're talking about.
Were you called an oddball, in your earlier days of economic prognostications and forecasting and so on?
I don't know that particular. We have words equivalent to that and other things I can't say on the radio.
But now, of course, there's such a disillusionment in the marketplace, and like you say, people have been, invested in the conventional thinking, and they believe that it was going to continue to be upgraded and advancements and evolutions and so on, and all of a sudden they're disappointed, and now they're giving you a fair hearing, is what you're saying.
Right. That I used to, I write for certain websites. Like Mises.org, which is MISES.org, and plenty of people have this sort of viewpoint. And it used to be years ago, just students would email me who were interested in it. It was sort of like a hobby for them. Whereas the last couple of years, it's been actual business people, guys who run hedge funds, looking for actual investment advice. So I've noticed a change in the type of person who listens to what I have to say.
Right now, if I were to buy some stocks, where would be the growth industries in the world today and the next couple of years? What do you say?
I would look more towards things like commodities and precious metals and maybe like real estate or low-income rental units, things like that. So particular companies I'm leery of just because I think the economy is going to be bad. But if price inflation comes, things like commodities, which will be inflation hedges, is what I look for.
It's a lot of talk about energy.
Yeah, I think energy is a safe bet, too, because everyone always needs energy. And if prices in general are rising, you're going to see oil prices shoot up. So, yeah, I don't think you're going to regret being in energy.
Days gone for $2.50 a gallon gas? Are those days over?
Over the next few years, I think that, we're not going to see.
All right. Well, appreciate it, Doc. Thanks a lot, and enjoy the Bahamas. I hope that Damien are taking you to fish fry and get some conch salad, conch fritters, and things of that nature. And if they don't, there's a beverage in the Bahamas. It's called Kalik. You might be very interested in tasting a bit of it.
Oh, I will certainly try to sample as much as I can. Thanks for having me.
I appreciate it. Dr. Robert Murphy has been our special guest, an economist with the Pacific Research Institute out of California. And so I'm very happy that the Nassau Institute has brought him to the Bahamas. We want to say thanks to Pentatile Enterprises, Seafile, Colin Imperial, Superwash, KFC, BTC, AID, Family Guardian, John Bull, Wemco Security and Collections, and Global Tiles. News is coming up right now on Star 106.5. A little bit of music before it does, but God bless and good evening.